MamoBall was launched in 2019, but the competitive scene truly began in 2021. Over the years, more than 5 million players have played the game, and many competitions were created by SOBRE, by servers, and by the community itself, in which players always competed with a single goal in mind: to win. However, ambition led 3 clubs to reach the very top of the game, a place no one else managed to reach among millions of players. Becoming a world champion is extremely rare, not only because of the high level of difficulty, but also due to the challenges of structure, organization, connection, and consensus. As a result, across 3 eras of MamoBall, we have had only one world champion in each era, almost like a dynasty. So now, I will tell the story of the journey of each of the 3 kings. We begin with the most dominant team in Brazilian history, FC Angels. Angels won 3 consecutive Brazilian championships and remained undefeated for months, an unthinkable achievement in the game. They dominated the Ballon d'Or awards for 4 straight seasons. Among the winners were Rafa Panca, considered the greatest striker in South American history, who won the award twice, KK10, one of the most brilliant midfielders Brazil has ever seen, and finally Shurish, who won the award in the 3rd season. After winning the Brazilian MamoBall League, FC Angels faced Aldosivi FC, the LATAM champions, a competition that, at the time, was the closest equivalent to a Copa Libertadores. The 2 teams met in a kind of South American Recopa, whose winner would secure a spot in the Club World Cup, where they would face the Turkish team Inter Miami, the best team in Europe at the time. After FC Angels won the South American Recopa, they advanced to the World Cup final. Face to face, the 2 best teams in the world at that moment clashed in a 5-goal battle. Inter Miami won the first half 1-0 with a goal by Clayist, but they were overwhelmed in the second half by the Brazilians. FC Angels crowned themselves the first world champions, truly placing a crown upon their heads as a symbol of the reign of the most dominant team in history. To tell the story of the second team, we must move forward in time to the second era of MamoBall. FMS was a team that started from the bottom, unlike FC Angels. They were the ugly duckling, constantly finishing as runners-up, both collectively and individually. But one day, they managed to win Brazil's 2nd division and were promoted to the 1st division. With strong performances, they were selected to compete in the Copa Libertadores. They advanced through the tournament with the soul of warriors. They were not favorites, but in knockout matches, their cup spirit prevailed. They reached the final and won under immense pressure, in extra time, against the Argentinians from McAllister. In the World Cup final, they faced Spider, who at the time were champions of a competition organized by the Eastern European Association. This became the most insane final in history, 7-0 for one side in the first half, 7-0 for the other side in the second half, extra times filled with anxiety, and a heroic equalizer by FMS at the end of one of the extra periods. Maintaining their warrior spirit, they later completed the greatest comeback ever recorded between clubs, becoming the 2nd world champions, the 1st and only champions of the 2nd era of MamoBall. Now moving on to the 3rd era of MamoBall, we have a glorious campaign in a kind of Super Club World Cup, contested by multiple teams. European teams showcased their talent in the tournament and ultimately came out on top. The clashes between Canelas and the Fury were memorable, but it was the Spanish who prevailed. After defeating the Argentinians from Boca Rio Gallego by an impressive score of 16-7, and then beating the Portuguese team Canelas in a best-of-3 series, with a dominant performance in the final match, their championship campaign was complete. Raimon was crowned world champion, becoming the 3rd world champion in the history of the game, and the 1st and only champion of the 3rd era of MamoBall. If you'd also like to learn about the editions of the Nations World Cup, like this video and leave a comment so I can hear your feedback. Thank you very much for watching, and God bless you.